What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Matt of Pig and Matt here. So, today I went to locals, but I didn't play at Modern. Instead, I went to a retro locals and they were playing Edison. And with that in mind, being the type of person I am, I decided to play, a very fair, fun, and balanced deck. And with this being a 2011 deck profile, we're going to do this 2011 style. So, let's go with the BS and cut to the deck profile. Oh yeah. Good, fair Yu-Gi-Oh! For all. Yep, I went to locals and played Exodia. Why? Because I have a quarter-century rare set of Exodia, and I thought it would be cute and funny. And you know what? It didn't perform too bad. There are changes I'll make, but if you're looking for something a little fun and different to play at your Edison locals, well, this deck is incredibly fun. Alright, so, it's the Dragon Draw Exodia. So, let's just go through the deck and then explain things. Of course, you have your 5 bricks, your 3 copies of Draw This Turn 1, or it is the worst card. 3 copies of the Blue Eyes with the Dragon, with the White Stone, and the Debris Dragon, which is a card's a consonants target, basically. Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, as basically 3 free spell counters. For your draw, you got your trade-ins, your cards consonants, your Super Rejuvenation, because you're discarding. Life points mean nothing. Add to the discard. 3 copies of Hand Destruction. A lot of people that play this deck are cheating you if they're trying to count this towards the Super Rejuvenation count, which it does not, because I don't know if you can see that, but it says send, which is not discarding. So if somebody uses Hand Destruction and then tries to count that towards the Super Rejuve thing, they're lying to you. And you should call them out for it. It doesn't trigger Dark Worlds, doesn't trigger Fableds. This card just doesn't do any of that. And if your opponent is smart and decides to keep their hand under 2, well, then the card's kind of useless. But there was a game that I probably could have been in a better position if I'd have set this, because I forgot that they were going to Gold Sark into a second card. And that would have been nice, but I didn't, and they double JD'd me for game. So, one reload, you definitely want to play these quick plays for sure, because during the end step, with Super Rejuve, aside from just chaining these, you can chain these cards to proceed to continue to try to draw into Exodia if your card count is low enough at the end of the turn. And kind of like reload, there's 2 copies of Magical Mallet. It's basically just a mulligan, but it's also a -1. So it's something you should be really aware of when you're playing this deck. That it usually is best paired with Royal Magical Library, but sometimes you really just need the ability to selectively pick what you want to keep in your hand and what not. Now for your extra deck, it truly means nothing. But if I would have just been a little bit smarter and played a generic level 4 and a level 5, I could have had the ability to use my White Stone plus some cards I'll show you in a second to get to Exodia faster. But instead I thought it would be funny to play this really shitty fusion and these Blue Eyes things. Alright, it's now on. I'm going to actually show the side deck because like game 1 you try to high roll into the combo, but for games 2 and 3 I usually just slowed it down. And for that I got like the Marshmallow and Spirit Reaper if you're playing against a deck that has a hard time outing these. The Sangian plus the 3 Emissaries. This card was incredibly good because it just searches the limbs. The only problem is, since it's a win effect, I forget if it misses timing or not. So I usually just played it into scenarios that I wouldn't have to worry about that. Like just setting it and letting them kill it. And then there's some stall cards in the form of Swords Revealing Light, Messenger of Peace, which was funny, Level Limit, Gravity Bind. Royal Oppression as a Floodgate, Scrap Iron, same logic, but this will probably just turn into more Fiendish Chains, to be honest with you. And yeah. So, some closing thoughts with the deck. I'm probably going to change it around. As you can see, there is no form of graveyard recovery anywhere in the main or side. And that's because I was pretty sure that people would have like DD Crow or something to where if you get an Exodia limb in the graveyard, you just die on the spot. But maybe I could have just played some Dark Factories of mass production, because that can at least work with the Blue Eyes White Dragon to like get better uses out of your trade-ins and what have you. And I think instead of the Debris Dragon, I'm probably going to try to get a Flameveil Guard and use that. And I like the Royal Magical Library, but it ultimately was kind of not that great in the grander scheme of things. But at the same time, there were plenty of games where I just didn't, and I was still able to play like into turns 2 or 3 just with limited resources. And there you have it, folks, my Edison Exodia deck profile. So some closing thoughts is that it's very fun. And it's really funny that in 2024 I could still play Exodia, but this time way different than what we had to do back in the day. I actually had been playing this variant like way back when. It's usually a deck I really like to sit down and play solitaire with because it's funny. So going back to it just randomly at a tournament really wasn't that hard for me personally. But yeah, it is quite a fun and interesting thing. Kind of like a chain burn, but without, like, you know, them just being able to go summon Jinzo and you lose. But yeah, so if you like what you see, comment down below. Any changes, things that you do with your own specific version, you know, all that jazz. And this is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing out.